So today is Booch Day. Here are 2 containers of kombucha that have been brewing for a few weeks now, and quite advanced. You can see all the layers in there, and it's got some good juice. So what I'm going to be doing is emptying out these 2 containers and just dumping them in here for the moment, putting these jars in the dishwasher so that I can prepare for the second batch. The batch is already brewed. In terms of the tea, it's the Pu-Erh and Molasses this time. Molasses is supposed to have a lot of really good beneficial vitamins and nutrients and all that in there, so I'm going to be doing the molasses thing. Supposedly it takes longer using regular sugar because there's a bit more work that has to be done in terms of the sugars being broken down. So there's that. That looks pretty nice. So we are back, and one of the things that I did is just in preparation for bottling this batch of kombucha, I've filled up a whole bunch of the 7 bottles. I think it's going to be 7 bottles that is required for that amount. What I did is these were already washed in the dishwasher a couple of days ago, and now what I do is I just dump in, fill it up with boiling water. Put a little bit at the bottom of each bottle at the beginning just to get the glass a little bit warm, and then fill it up to the rest of the way. Invest in a metal funnel, because I used to have a plastic one, and what happens is that because you're dumping in boiling water, it ended up cracking, so you might want to get that for the hot water. Kombucha is a really sensitive type of liquid. The organisms in there, the healthy bacteria and all, you shouldn't put any metal, once this is developed in that, you shouldn't introduce it to metal. Like, don't put it into a metal bowl, don't use metal funnels, don't use whatever spoons in that. Say that there's just, because the bacteria is going to try to go after toxins and that, what happens is that it has a reaction with the metal. So make sure that you're using, plastic ware, plastic funnel, putting it into glass. These glass jars, what I ended up doing is just washing them by hand, and then what I'm going to do is put a jam or a jelly bag as a strainer for the new tea. So I'm dumping in here the new tea, which is with the molasses. And this is in a pot. This is in a stainless steel pot. This was, there's no kombucha in here right now. It's just the base tea, so that's all right. And stainless steel, of course. And now this is the new batch, which is the Pu-Erh and the Molasses. So it's like really, it almost looks like coffee. I'm just going to distribute that, get that into the containers. Alright, so what I did is I divvied up the new tea, the nutrient bath, into 2 jars. And it's pretty full, but now what I have to do is I have to take out from the previous batch a cup. So this is a ½ cup measure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump that into each one of these. And what that does is it just brings back, this is like there's all kinds of healthy bacteria and junk in there. And that helps to get the new batch going. yet. There we go. So, what I'm also going to do is, I had a request from someone for kombucha. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of liquid like that, and then the next thing to do is get the SCOBYs. And the SCOBYs are, this is like that mushroomy piece. That's actually what does the conversion. Just going to clean out some of the slime here. Actually, this is the first time I'm holding one of these guys. Pretty interesting. It's quite like leathery. It's a bit thin in the middle. So, and the only thing is, what is up and what is down. I think this, the lighter portion was the one that's out of the tea, and this is because it's always in the tea. So what I'll do is I'll just put this back in here. Just plop it in. And this thing kind of is going to float around. They say that they go to the bottom, they go to the top, they kind of move around, and in any case, it's just going to keep on growing along. There we go. One of the really interesting things about this whole thing is that this all started, the kombucha, actually started by this, and this is a bottle of Kefi Active Kombucha Vitalizing Tonic. This is like 250 milliliters. This was 20 bucks at the Avril. And you can also go out and buy, there's a couple of different brands, I think Crudescence, which is a Montreal company that they do all kinds of vegetarian and healthy produce. They actually sell at Avril some of their product, and I think it was also at Adonis. So what you can do is buy also, it's almost like a pop bottle, but it's kombucha, and that's like, I think, $5 or $6 for a bottle. So you can also do that instead of paying the 20 bucks. Since I really wanted to start off with a really good, a good quality bacteria. So now we have ginger. Ginger is what I usually put in, or what I put in last time when I bottle this. And what it does is it gives it a nice little gingery taste. And actually, the first batch, that inoculation batch, was really a light. I think I used a bit of green tea and a bit of oolong. So anyways, it was very, very light in flavor. And so now what I'm going to do is start dumping in the Booch. And I don't think I really, well, I'm filtering it just to catch the filaments and stuff like that in there. And actually, it doesn't look like I'm going to have, I calculated for 7 bottles. I think I have at most 2.5. And what I do is I just fill it up to about, what I do is I just fill it up to the neckline. Is on the Growth bottles, they have a little spot, which I might have to take a bit out of here. And I think as soon as I dump in a few pieces of ginger, 8, 9, and let's go with 10 pieces. Just go with the edge there. And there's the first one. So the ginger floating up at the top, and the ginger is actually going to settle down at the bottom. But that's the first bottle. Looking forward to tasting. Tasting this when it's going to be aged. I'm going to let it age for maybe a week in room temperature, and then let it sit in the fridge for maybe another week or so. So anyway, it's going to taste good. And like I said, the batch that I just started this morning, the new one, is actually with the molasses, so that'll be an interesting twist there. And what you can also do with this is, instead of just putting ginger, you can also put fruit. Some people say that pear is really nice. Pear with ginger is a good mix. Some fruit work better than others, but there's all kinds of stuff on the web. Check it out, by all means, and get back to me with what you're trying. If you want to get a hold of any of this kombucha stuff, look, I got a couple of, this is the old mothers from the previous batch that are still, this is still, you know, living stuff that's ready to convert sugar tea into kombucha. So if you want any of that, if you want any cultures, let me know, and I can make a deal.